ever since you became famous, what is the first thing you want to do?
Marry Brittany Hurdle.
Okay. Well, that is a great answer.
For two kids who'd like to think they were unpredictable.
We were inevitable.
Our story is played out like something of a rom-com. We lived in the same apartment complex and never met. I actually met her sister first, who I may or may not have liked.
And I liked a boy who's now my sister's husband.
But our paths eventually crossed, and the day we met, she grabbed my hand.
He told me that he wanted to be a floater, or whatever that means, and I grabbed his hand and I made him eat with me for the rest of the semester for 9 weeks. He loved every minute.
Little did I know that the rest of the semester would mean the rest of my life, and that she'd be the one I'd want to eat all my lunches with.
My first impression of Ryan was, well, he smelled really nice. I wanted to be his friend. Maybe more. I don't know. I guess more.
With Britt, it's easy to get distracted by her looks and miss all the best things about her. And I can't explain to other guys just how awful their girls are. And I'm sure they make sense on paper, but you don't date Brittany because she makes sense.
You don't even make any sense. Go sit down.
Brittany growing up, what a neat little kid. I mean, just so silly. Such a silly little girl from very, very young. And who would have thought that she would end up with such a silly boy?
She's got a smile that it seems to me reminds me of childhood memories.
She took dance when she was very little. You know, even 2 years old, she would notice things. She would remember things and talk about it.
Even being the older sister, I would get scared and whose room would it go into? Brittany's. They even moved my room to a sewing room, and I just moved in Brittany's room. I could count on Brittany to be the strong one and be there for me.
Oh, 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 sweet child of mine.
Brittany, sit pretty.
Oh, 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 sweet child of mine.
Before we sold the house, which we didn't know, she decided she would scare people away because they didn't want to move. Her and her sister did not want to move. And so she put this mannequin head on a stick about eye level, so when somebody opened her closet door, here was his head. She wanted to move to New York, so we decided, well, we'll just show her how scary it is.
It scared me.
It scared me too. And so we took her to New York, and it only inspired her. You know, I look at this little kid and it's like, she's not afraid of anything. You know, Ryan is exactly the same way. I mean, they know what they want and they go for it.
Even before Ryan was born, Connie and I had prayed for just the right young lady.
When he first came, we almost lost him. He was a preemie and didn't get out of the hospital for 2 weeks or so, a little more than that. Once we got him home, he was never still, except when he decided to fall asleep, in which case that would be anywhere. He decided he was going to be a musician. At a very early age, he wanted a guitar.
I've heard there was a secret chord that
I made the mistake of buying him a guitar for Christmas one time. And thus began, I've Got a Cow, and his name is Bob.
I've got a cow. I've got a cow. His name is Bob. I've got a cow. His name is Bob.
I got a cow, his name is Bob.
He loved potato chips. Anything that was not healthy would be fine with him.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
I met this crazy kid, knew he was bad news from the get-go. He frightened me at first. I gave him another chance. He offered to teach me guitar if I would help him, or no, do his science homework. Still waiting on that guitar lesson. He had a string of girls in high school, but Brittany was the first one that kind of changed him for the better. Without her, I don't know if we would be friends still.
My first memory of Ryan is from our geometry class. I was getting up to sharpen my pencil, and I asked him if I could sharpen his pencil. And he said something to the tune of, if that's what they're calling it these days.
I'm so sorry. And the best part is then you told your parents, and that's their first memory of me.
The first memory I have of meeting Brittany was in the parking lot outside of school. And Ryan had already met her at this time. He was kind of playing it cool the whole time, but I could tell in his eyes and just the way he was that she was different.
I didn't realize at first she was Allison's sister, which is probably for the best because Allison had told me her sister was the devil. Allison convinced me to ask her to prom.
I said no. I do remember that, and then she said...
She totally said no. She told me she wouldn't ask me to Sadie Hawkins.
But I already had an invite via ICQ waiting for him at home.
But I had already accepted another girl's invitation.
As these near misses continued, friends always told us that we were going to end up together, and we all told them they were crazy.
I think I told my mom we were just friends through at least 4 school dances.
Oh, we're just friends. You know, she didn't have anybody to go with, and I didn't have anybody to go with, so it's just, we're just good friends.
You know, we're just friends. We're just friends. I remember the first time I met Ryan, which I didn't even know till later. He was working at Blockbuster, and I go into Blockbuster and complaining, you know, why is my daughter able to rent these movies? You know, I wanted her off the list, blah, blah, blah. And this little old guy, he comes up and, you know, he tells the lady, he said, I'll take care of this. Didn't charge me a thing. He said, okay, you're good to go. And I just remember, you know, just a very pleasant boy, just really sweet, real cute, and just smiling, you know. And later, I find out that was actually Ryan, and it's so funny, I remember the whole thing.
We realized the scheme had started.
We first met Britt at Chili's, and Ryan pointed out the pretty young lady, and sure enough, she was really a pretty young lady.
And you went with
Brittany Hurdle.
Did she have a good time with you?
I hope she enjoyed it.
Ryan came for the first time for homecoming, and I already knew about this Ryan. Not because of Blockbuster, you know. I knew about Ryan because he had a class with Allison, and one day she goes out to leave school, and she was pinned in. She couldn't get out of the parking lot. And she was telling me about these 2 boys, Ryan and Ryan, who had managed to move their cars around where she really couldn't get out. I thought, okay, this is the boy that's taking Brittany out. So I had already heard stories, so I knew he was a character from pretty early.
I found out that he was going on this date with this girl to the movies. And so my friend Lindsay and I decide that we were going to go to the movies. And so I see Ryan at the movies because I knew he was going to be there. And he sees me and he's like, what? Why is she here? Not in a bad way. I think I maybe confused him. I don't know. I'd like to think that.
Our first actual date, she was coming from a formal banquet with another guy, actually. So she was in a really nice dress. But since we were just going to the movies, she wanted to change, so I let her borrow a t-shirt.
The t-shirt was ginormous, and it said, I heart my pony.
We went to go see A Walk to Remember, and I remember she went to the restroom, and when she came back, she was like, did I miss anything? And I was like, yeah, she has leukemia, and she started crying right there, and I remember thinking that maybe Allison's sister wasn't the devil. Our first year was pretty rough because we spent the majority of it doing the long distance thing. But we survived with notes and videos.
Hey Britt, it's me.
When Ryan went off to Hardin-Simmons, it was a very sad day for Brittany and I both. We struggled through it, and he wanted us to come up quite often. Well, actually, it wasn't me. He wanted Britt to come up. So Brittany and I would drive 6 hours to Abilene, and they would get to see each other a little bit, and then we would head back, and she and I both would cry all the way to Brownwood.
Long distance was horrible.
They took a short break. They were in college, and what did we talk about?
She calls me, she says, I gotta go to College Station.
Yeah, I had to leave.
I came home and she bolted to College Station because it was a big deal. Big deal.
I thought we were going to have to bury them both.
It was probably the longest 10 days of their life, and it was pretty long for the mamas as well. So when they got back together, you know, everybody was, you know, I think very happy and relieved. And I knew at that point that they were for each other, and their relationship got stronger. And I knew then that they would most likely be getting married. And we always tease Brittany, it was like nobody will ever put up with her.
Really, my first question to him was, do you know what you're getting yourself into?
And he said, yes,
He told me, I've been doing this for 10 years. I believe I know what I'm getting myself into. I said, as long as you know what you're getting yourself into, you have my blessing.
He saves a lot of his love for big gestures and things like that.
Ryan likes a little bit of production with what he does, and obviously when it happened, it was quite a production.
It was, yeah.
The proposal. To me, a ring doesn't quite say enough. For what Brittany's had to put up with, she deserves a medal.
It was so crazy. I couldn't believe it was happening. And I know in the video, everyone thinks I'm very stupid by constantly repeating, is this for me, is this for me? But it was because it was Kersley's birthday, and we were going to the movie theater for his birthday, and Ryan told me he was doing something for Kersley. So I naturally thought it was for him, up until basically my name literally had to be spelled out on the screen. After 10 years, you're thinking, this is finally it. This is how it happened.
There's no two people better for each other. They both have this kind of weirdness. What a way to travel through this life, having so much fun. You're a baby, and now you're getting married, you know?
Ryan is such a gifted musician and a really good kid that we're really proud to have him as a son-in-law.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
We've known for a long time that Brittany was just the right one for our boy. You better not mess this up. If you do, we're going to miss you. We're keeping Brittany.
It's a scary thing to imagine spending the rest of your life with just one person, but not half as scary as imagining spending it without her.
We're really both the type that need our own space, but with him, he is my space.
Every boy dreams of finding that one special girl.
That one special boy.
And marrying them just 10 years later.
10 years.
And every day of that decade I've tried my best to show her how much she means to me. But it looks like it's gonna take a lifetime.
So enough of the obligatory love stuff. Britt and I have never been one of those couples that are into displays of affection, even in private. And all our best memories over the past 10 years include all our best friends. So, here's to you guys. Yay!
Abortion is legal! Constitutional!
Going to a discotheque, join me!
I'm sorry, but this could be the best weather we had.
I am commentating.
Brittany, shut up.
In the belly of the whale, in my bedroom I can't sleep. All my friends got crooked tails, but that's the way I like it. That's just what I need. And there we are, standing in the shooting stars.
That's it.
In our cars.
That was the best thing in the world.